And we're joined by Juliette Sicotte, the Liberal candidate now in this newly drawn riding of Okanagan Lake West, South Kelowna. So how does it feel? Here you are, stepping out as a politician for the first time.
Yes, it is exciting, and I feel honored to represent this riding that I love so much. I've lived in Kelowna for 30 years, and this is really exciting.
Help us get to know you a little bit better. Some of the other candidates have a track record that we can look back at. You're kind of brand new. So what's your background?
So I was born and raised in northern Manitoba in a little mining town called Snow Lake. And then I moved up to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and that's where I got my start in selling fine art and sculpture and tapestries up in the Northwest Territories. From there, I moved to Vancouver, where I sold high-end fashion, and I've lived in Kelowna now for 30 years. And I've been with a technology company, and I sell industrial instrumentation to engineers all over the world, and I have a global reseller channel.
And your outfit tells me you're
Yes.
proud of your Aboriginal ancestry.
I am. I'm Métis Cree, and this outfit is by Haida fashion designer Dorothy Grant.
Right. Okay, so what has sparked your interest in politics? What motivates you?
What motivates me? What motivates me to run is we all know everything has changed, and I can't stand by and watch decades of progress in our country get wiped out. My parents raised and set a good example for us 8 kids that they raised in a little mining town, and they believed in Canada. They loved this country. Although sometimes this country didn't always love them back, but they persevered. So I have to honor that. And Mark Carney is the right guy at the right time. And the priority is to maintain our standards and our standard of living.
Right. It is a tough message that he's trying to deliver. That he's putting the word change in, but it's the same government. So do you think that he does truly represent change?
I think he does. He is speaking a lot on sustainable climate solutions and getting very involved and with Indigenous organizations. Because if you're going to unite this country, everybody has to be involved. Everyone has to be united.
Yeah. You can't get away from the fact that this character that is President of the United States right now is such a big part of Canadian politics right now. So how do you feel about all that?
How do I feel? Well, he's definitely creating a lot of instability all over the world. We can only control what we can control, and that is for us to maintain our unity in this country, vote together, and then try to deal with him from a position of strength.
You see so many people leaning into this buy Canadian thing. Are you looking at the label on everything you buy?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm also buying Indigenous as much as I can.
Yeah. Now, on the other side of the ledger, this new riding you've got here does include South Kelowna, the Mission area. I think a lot of people are pretty entrenched conservative voters on this side of the lake here. I think you've got your work cut out for you.
Yes, it definitely will be tough, but the doors that I've knocked on, I've had a very good reception, and people are very concerned about dealing with President Trump. I've had a very welcome reception. People that possibly have voted conservative sometimes in the past, they're now saying that they're considering voting Liberal, and we have their vote.
Right. And are there any things that you're hearing back from them? Things that are sort of, on the minds of the voters that you're meeting on the doorstep?
The number one issue, the 5-alarm fire that we're dealing with is the Trump tariffs and his efforts to try and cripple our economy.
What do you make of this Annex Canada thing? What level of seriousness do you attach to that?
Well, I think that may have always been in their plans all along, except now he feels the comfort to actually talk about it and try it.
Right. And it is interesting. A few months ago, running as a Liberal would have just been, you get a few steps in. But, the situation has sure changed.
It has, but I think the Liberals still have the values that I treasure the most. And especially with Mark Carney and his strong economic background, I think he is the one to help us through this critical time in our country.
Terrific. Good luck. Thanks for this.
Thank you, Kent.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.